right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWF St. Valentine's Day Massacre, aka In Your House. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, and let's get into it. This is the final In Your House because going forward after WrestleMania, the pay-per-view names will just be themselves, no more In Your House little segments. So the journey is over. Thank
Finally,
God. This is number 27 of the In Your House
Jesus,
series.
Jesus.
Yep. February 14th, 1999, Memphis, Tennessee. 19,000 plus on hand for this one. Buy rate on it pretty impressive, 450,000, mainly because everybody wants to see the main event once again, the next chapter in the saga of Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not to mention the saga of the WWE title, how constant it's changing hands between Mankind and The Rock. Yeah, Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler doing the commentary. So here we go. The first match of the night was a pure shit fest. Something that Sunday Night Heat could have done, and we could have been prevented here. I'm sure there was somebody in the back that could have wrestled way better than this match. It was Gold Dust versus Blue Dust.
Oh God, yeah, I had forgotten about this feud
The Blue
until I
Meanie
saw.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it even got worse past this at WrestleMania when he's acting like his illegitimate freaking kid. He's just acting. I never could stand the Blue Meanie, not his character, nothing about him. From ECW and the BWO to him coming here and doing this. I just no. And this match was a
Like,
throwaway too, a 3-minute match. And they both come out to the same entrance theme. You know, he's covered in blue, he's covered in gold. They're showing what happened that led up to this. Goldust being, drenched in blue paint and all this other nonsense. I mean, it just was, I don't know. So let's just get through the highlights of the match, if there are any. After avoiding shattered dreams, Blue Dust missed a moonsault from the top. That's about the only thing I can give this guy for. As big as he was agile. Goldust got the curtain call and got the pin, and then afterwards, he did shatter dreams to Blue Dust. So now, hopefully, this puts an end to this chapter. But they would still be together going forward to WrestleMania. So following that god awful match, they showed what happened earlier on Heat with Vince McMahon calling out Stone Cold Steve Austin. The stipulation was if Austin struck Vince, then the match was canceled later on that night. Now this match had a heavy stipulation in it because if Austin won, he was the number one contender and would go on to WrestleMania.
and Sean came
Since
out too, right?
yeah,
Sean
Shawn was in the ring, and he was holding Austin back
Yeah.
in this case. And Shawn has had a huge impact on this storyline from the Rumble till now because right after when Vince won the Rumble and he relinquished the rights to go to WrestleMania, Shawn and Austin were together when Shawn deemed Austin then the number one contender, and then because he
Sean turned babyface like around like I don't remember, I forgot when he did because when he was a commissioner he was heel, right? He was heel commissioner and he beat babyface.
yeah, and then he got kicked out of the corporation and all this. It was hard to keep up with Shawn. Even when he was a heel, he was babyface. We talked about that on the last In Your House.
I just I don't I this is
Shawn's doing what Shawn's doing.
Yeah, it's blurry at this time.
So, bottom line, if Austin wins, he faces the winner of the WWE Championship match. So, our next match on the card was supposed to be Al Snow versus Road Dogg, but due to a storyline injury for Road Dogg, he had to forfeit the hardcore title. In actuality, he was in rehab. So, Hardcore Holly took his place, and now for the vacated hardcore title. And I'm going to say this is one of the best hardcore matches WWE has put on because this match was amazing. These two just went at it nonstop. They took it down to the Mississippi River of all places, 30 degrees, and they're fighting in the water. And this was just an amazing match. I love when Al Snow is using the payphone on Hardcore Holly, tells him reach out and touch someone, hits him with the thing. Some kids are probably looking, what the hell's a payphone? Is that a prepaid cell phone we buy at a deli? No, it's not. Floor tiles were being used, over Al Snow's head. You know, that was amazing. The way Hardcore Hollywood was the genius in the way he came up on how to pin Al Snow. He rolls him up in some fence, then pins him. So Hardcore Holly becomes the Hardcore champion. And he had a lot to prove in this match because he's trying to get over the stigmata of Bob Sparky Plug.
Sparklow, yeah.
And it was mentioned during this match. He was never a singles champion until now. He was a tag champion, which ain't saying much back in '95.
He got screwed with the IC title because he did win the IC title, but then they stripped. That was with Jeff Jarrett that I think both their shoulders were down or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, it's vacant. It doesn't count as an IC title win." Then Jeff Jarrett wins the title, and whatever.
Because, don't worry. We'll talk. We're gonna talk about your boy in a little bit.
Oh my God.
So the next segment was they showed earlier in the day the Ministry of Darkness gathering around the fire. Just looked like a bunch of homeless guys waiting for the shelter to open.
This was crazy, man. I like the Ministry though, man. It's just
I love the gimmick.
Oh,
this gimmick by the Undertaker was one of the best he ever did. Just the group he's associated.
It was so crazy with the sacrifices, the kidnapping of Viscera, and then they kidnapped what's his name from the Godwins, Midian, and they sacrificed them, and
then they beat the hell out of Bradshaw and Farouk, and they bring them in.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That was actually the best thing that came out of the Ministry. The Acolytes, the APA, putting them two together was great. But everybody else, Undertaker, do you really need Midian?
No, but I
don't think so.
It was a good storyline. It was sadistic.
It was.
Ministry Undertaker was crazy. Right.
Speaking of Midian, the next match on the card would be Corporation versus Ministry.
Oh God!
It's the Big Boss Man versus Midian.
Another stinker that nobody cared about.
Yeah, pretty much. Midian comes down. He asks Cole and Lawler to keep an eye on his eye. Has a little jar there with an eyeball in it. That's not grossing anybody out. The best part of this match is the fans chanting boring. And y'all are right, because it is.
Yeah.
You got two heels. Nobody cares about
Nobody cares.
Boss Man, very few people know, at least the generation of fans that are watching the Attitude Era now may not remember Boss Man back when before he left in '93.
Well,
if they do, that's great.
It's just a different character. It's a totally different.
Yeah, it's heel versus heel here too.
Yeah.
And I really like the Boss Man gimmick from the first time around. SWAT member Boss Man, not so much.
Yeah, no.
So, Boss Man, excuse me, he hits his sidewalk slam and gets the pin, which isn't saying much.
Not really.
After the match, the Ministry came down. Yeah. Lights go out. Here comes the Undertaker. The theme they played here, I don't know if they dubbed it over the original. By this point, he had that other. The Ministry theme.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't. If you watch it on Peacock now, they're not playing that. At least not yet.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Ministry attacked Boss Man and then carried him to the back. I guess they were trying to make him the next member. Either way, that's going to set up a WrestleMania match between Undertaker and Boss Man. And then again, that is not saying much.
Undertaker kills him.
Almost. In a Hell in a Cell of all things. That to me, if you rate Undertaker's WrestleMania opponents, this has got to be the weakest one. My opinion. This is weaker than Snuka. Because it just didn't make any sense. Undertaker, if you want to give him a high caliber match at WrestleMania, well, your security guard of the Ministry wasn't in. I think it should have been Shamrock, in my opinion. If you're going to put somebody from the corporation up against the Undertaker, should have been him. But he's got his own problems. So, next segment, Kevin Kelly interviewed D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, and Ivory. They showed earlier Deborah attacking Ivory. And Ivory made the statement that if Deborah gets involved in any way during the match, she will strip her naked. Please get involved in the match, Deborah. So our next match on the card is for the WWE Tag Team titles. Challengers D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry facing the defending champions of Owen Hart and Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Broke 6,000 guitars, never drew a dime. When Jeff Jarrett came out, you hear a rat piss on cotton.
Not so much in this match because Owen had a little bit of the fans kind of cheering him. Yeah, so, it wasn't a complete silence over the crowd.
Don't piss me off.
I did like that when they put these two guys together, it was finally they're doing something with Owen and they've made him a champion again, regardless, even though it's not the heavyweight title and he's not in that picture at all. At least, they put it, they made him relevant for a little bit.
Sort of.
But the whole Blue Blazer thing at this point, especially at the last pay-per-view, it's just like, all right, what are we doing? Why are we going back to 1989? Seriously. So before the match, Mark Henry gave Ivory roses and chocolate because it being Valentine's Day. Oh boy,
man, now this is his next infatuation.
Yeah, he's gone through China. There was another one after that, and now Ivory. Pretty soon he will be sexual chocolate if he isn't already. I think he is at this point.
He is,
if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
They mentioned because they say sexual chocolate. I'm pretty sure.
And then Mae Young will be the next one. Let's not get into that storyline with giving birth to a hand.
I'd rather forget that.
I'd rather forget a lot of things with Mae Young, including the Royal Rumble 2000 and I saw that live.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. During the match, Mark Henry went for a double splash in the corner, but he missed on Owen Hart and on Jeff, and they kind of left a little early to where Mark Henry's up there for a little bit before and nobody's there, so the timing was just a couple of seconds off on that one. Deborah did get distract the referee. Ivory was pulling her down, and D'Lo at the same time was dealing with them. Now at this point, this is where the match gets totally hinky. Henry had Jarrett up in the Gorilla Press Slam. Owen hits him with the guitar. Now, Jarrett applies the figure four and gets a submission. But meanwhile, the referee is looking around, sees guitar pieces, and continues to call the match.
It's always happening.
That to me didn't make any sense. So Jarrett gets a submission on Mark Henry, who had a knee injury kind of going into this. So Owen and Jeff keep the tag titles. This wouldn't be the last time they saw D'Lo because D'Lo and Test will be the next challengers at WrestleMania for them. That ain't saying much. But congratulations to Owen and your boy Jeff. I know you were rooting for him.
Yeah,
So the next interview segment, Kevin Kelly interviewed Mankind. He was talking about how earlier he was training with Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund and Dominic DeNucci, a name a lot of people don't know about, former tag team champion in WWE. He's training up the stairs, and then The Rock attacks him, pretty much dislocating Mankind's knee, especially when he hit him with I think it was a fire extinguisher and then like a pallet or something. But Mankind's
a lot of stuff going on in the pre-show, man. A lot of stuff going on.
Seriously, it was like Sunday Night Heat was like the place to be back then.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to get people to buy it at the last minute, so they were doing stuff not only so people would tune in.
It became the free for all too,
right? And then so people would buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah, the best segment, and we'll get to it later on Heat ever did was Halftime Heat. We'll get to that in a little bit. So then they showed a video package, what led up to our next match with the saga and the days of our lives of Ryan Shamrock. Because their next match is for the Intercontinental Championship. Ken Shamrock defending the title against Val Venus with Ryan Shamrock in his corner.
His sister. Not in real life, but story.
I know.
Wasn't he dating her in real life too, or is that a real?
Oh Lord,
I can't remember. It's not his real sister.
No, I know that,
but it's still weird.
It's just weird that if you are dating her in real life and Vince adapts her into the storyline as your sister, I'm like, we're doing some Jerry Springer shit here. So and the special thing about this match is the special guest referee is Billy Gunn, which makes no sense. Now, and what's funny is after this, obviously you got a Billy Gunn Ken Shamrock feud. Why is it that they switched it at WrestleMania and Billy Gunn goes for the hardcore title and Road Dogg's in the Intercontinental title?
I don't remember what happened storyline wise. I don't remember.
Honestly, I don't either because it was totally chaotic back in '99. But watching this, I really thought Billy Gunn and Shamrock were going to be the one-on-one match at WrestleMania for the title.
Don't forget Vince,
or not for the title. I'm sorry.
Don't forget Vince Russo. Match. Don't forget Vince Russo.
Yeah, this is true.
So this guy was always swerving and doing this and so.
Mr. Chaos. So. And of course, Ryan Shamrock gets around to everybody because by WrestleMania she'll be in Goldust's corner, where Blue Meanie has a problem with it. Whatever. At one point, and this Billy Gunn made this match interesting. Val had Shamrock in a submission hold, and Val's yelling at Billy, "Ask him." And Billy's looking at him, "Ask him what?" Like playing the dummy, like I'm a degenerate. I don't know what to do here. He's laying on the ropes, pretending to be Shawn Michaels.
He's
No,
no Shawn
before this
Michaels.
match.
He's another guy. Billy Gunn is another.
No.
Said it before. Billy Gunn is another guy. I never
Hey,
cared
they didn't
for.
hype him up during this match, mainly because he wasn't wrestling.
Thankfully, but
So Michael Cole didn't hype him up. But
he's a step above Jeff Jarrett for me. He's a step above.
that's cold. That's cold. What's the matter with you? New Age Outlaws, man, they were good.
Yeah.
In any event, Billy was doing slow counts all night, which was ticking off Shamrock. He had the pin at one point. Billy wouldn't count the three, counted the one, the two, and then he's like, "Wait, what comes after 2?"
Mm-hmm.
Playing the stupid role. Shamrock puts the ankle lock on, but Ryan Shamrock helps Val Venus get to the ropes. Then Ken Shamrock goes out there to talk to her. She slaps him. Gets back in the ring. Val rolls up Shamrock after he attacked Billy, and then Billy assaulted him. Now it's on between them. When they get back in the ring, Val rolls him up with a small package. Billy counts the fast 1, 2, 3, and Val Venus is the Intercontinental Champion. It didn't stop there because afterwards Shamrock attacked Billy Gunn. Billy then comes back for whatever reason back into the ring and beats the hell out of Val Venus. I have no idea. Now this is where you think that the story with Billy Gunn and the IC title, and Russo pulls the swerve when the Outlaws switch titles that they're going for. And then besides that, even breaking up the New Age Outlaws at WrestleMania made no damn sense.
Then you have the DXs, China, and all this.
China by this point's already out in the corporation, but then at WrestleMania, you think she's back, but technically Triple H is in there.
Right,
yeah. There's a whole lot of swerves, and I'll get to it when we get to that match. I'll get to it now because it was right. Actually, it comes up next. I remember the exact date of China turning and going to the corporation, January 25th, 1999. Reason why is because as I'm watching Monday Night Raw, a real quick blockbuster story, I get a phone call. Now, I'm supposed to start as I just got promoted to assistant. They sent me to Coney Island Avenue. Why, I don't know.
It's a lovely store.
Yeah, really lovely. Now, the next day on Tuesday is my first day I'm supposed to close. So I figured, I'll go a couple hours early that day, get the keys, get all my stuff, look around. I get the phone call right after China turns onto the corporation that tells me, oh, by the way, you're opening tomorrow. You have to come and get the keys and everything tonight.
Yeah, the turnarounds. Beautiful turnaround.
I'm like, wait, what? I say, first of all, I'm home. I have no way of getting there. But long story short, I found a ride there. But that's how I remember the night China had turned. So, and it stayed in my memory till this day. So she's like, I turned for one thing, money, and whatnot, which I really hated seeing this because now it's like, okay, why are they breaking DX up? I know this is just the start of it.
Swerve, man, swerve.
Yep. So our next match on the card is Triple H and European champion X-Pac versus China and Kane. And here's a little known fact for you. Coming up at WrestleMania 15 when X-Pac faces Shane, first WrestleMania for that boy. No matter how long he was in the company, that's his first WrestleMania.
I know that.
That's weird. He didn't wrestle. He came in after 9. He wasn't on the card at 10. Wasn't on the card. Might have been involved in some sort in 11.
I think he was supposed to be in the Battle Royal, and then remember Shawn and Razor went overtime, and they canceled the Battle Royal in WrestleMania 10.
Oh, the 8-man tag match.
Was it 8-man tag? Was he in that match?
Yeah. It was Jarrett, Martel, Adam Bomb, and somebody else.
There you go.
I think, he was involved in it, but they canceled his match, unfortunately. I know. So they had the match next night on Raw. And they said, oh, they can't figure out who's going to be the captain. We're not going to have the match.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, wait a minute. I actually want to see that match. Damn Vince. Anyway, now, what made this match almost impossible to watch is, I don't know about you, but I hated Shane McMahon doing commentary back then, the way he talked, the way he acted. I know it's the character.
I know he was playing the character. I didn't think. I know. I understand.
A spoiled rich kid.
But that's what he was supposed to be playing.
I know.
X-Pac took him out though. X-Pac.
Oh, I loved it. He just all of a sudden, bam, just decked him on the outside. This match was pretty good. I did enjoy this match. And I especially loved X-Pac hitting the Bronco Buster on China. And believe it or not, China handled herself on her, she handled herself against Triple H and X-Pac, especially taking Triple H's blows. And of course, afterwards, Shane attacked X-Pac, and he chased him down the aisle. Triple H was about to pedigree China. Kane choke slams him and puts China on top of him, insult to injury, to get the pin.
That's it.
And Kane and China win the match. And so now you see where you got two matches that just got set up for WrestleMania: X-Pac and Shane, Triple H and Kane. And again, we think China's back to DX, but it's really Triple H saying "see ya." So our next video segment before the next match was the video package of what led up to the next match, which is the last man standing match between Mankind and The Rock. I did like how Rock pinned on Halftime Heat. He pinned him with a pallet, which was ingenious. That was on Halftime Heat. And then they showed earlier again the attack on Mankind. The only thing I did not like was when Rock, and I've said this before, when Rock went to WrestleMania, he was already a 3-time champion after he just won the title 5 months prior.
That was ridiculous. They fought so many times.
They did. And after watching this the first time, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have Mankind and Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
The Super Bowl empty arena match was cool, but it just
it took views away from the halftime show, which I was thankful
for.
I
watched it, but I just thought they fought too many times and switching the belt around like that. How for The Rock? To me, The Rock should have won it at Deadly Games and held on to it till Austin beats him, because then when Austin beats him, it's not as big of a deal. Because
even if he lost it one time to Mankind,
I wouldn't
I wouldn't
have done that.
He loses it at the Rumble, but then gets it back at St. Valentine's Day.
All right.
At least one time, fine. But the fact that he's a 3-time champion going into it, so he loses to Austin, it's like
it's not a big.
Okay, we've seen this already.
Right.
But the fact that we got Austin and Rock at WrestleMania was great. Right. Just the title, it was watered down a little bit
at that point.
Yeah. So we've got the last man standing match between these two, and Mankind starts this match off with his hands behind his back, pretty much like how he ended it at the Rumble, being handcuffed. Hand behind his back, turns his back on The Rock, and just starts getting his beating. This match was great. I liked it. It
was a great match.
Every Rock Mankind match they had,
they always had good matches.
Was awesome.
Yeah, it's just the ending.
This ends in a draw.
That was terrible
because simultaneous chair shots.
It was like Rocky too, but at least Rocky made it up. These guys just stayed on the ground.
Yeah, and this ends in a draw, and then Mankind keeps the title.
Right, and the fans were booing.
Yeah. So now you think, okay, Mankind's going to WrestleMania.
Right, wrong.
No, he's going to lose the title between now and then.
Yeah.
But I love that the Rock's doing commentary.
Yeah, no, it was great. There was great stuff in this match.
And the fact that Mankind had a dislocated knee and took the bumps that he did, including his knee hitting the timekeeper's table, not to mention his head hitting the edge of the table. The announcer's table, it's like, you got to be kidding me here. So, but yeah, it was funny when The Rock was on the mic. He's stomping out Mankind, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Mandible Claw. That was all good stuff. But again, the ending to this match, trash. I would not have ended it like this.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have, if Rock's winning the title, do it here, set up WrestleMania, and let's be done with it.
Yeah, no, but this is a WCW ending, man. This is a WCW ending.
And the fans chanting bullshit at the end of the match, I agreed with them.
Yeah.
2 stretchers come out. They both get loaded like Rocky 1. Both going to
They just needed the music. They just needed that music that they...
I'm wondering if Mankind wheeled himself over to Rock's room and go,
did you give me everything you got?
Yeah. I'm wondering, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Exactly. So, following the main event, now the main event is a steel cage match for the number 1 contendership at WrestleMania 15. Mr. McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. All corporate members barred from ringside. Yeah. No interference. If they interfere, they are fired.
Ongoing saga, man.
You're thinking at this point, Vince is dead.
Yeah, he's got
You're facing
chance.
Austin.
He's got no chance in hell.
No pun intended. Yeah. Who would have thought, he had a late signee underneath the ring, which I'll get to that in a minute, because you could tell at a certain point, once they're fighting, all of a sudden you see the ring moving, like they're pulling a latch down here and stuff, like big boys moving down there. But they showed the flashback to the Rumble as Vince had eliminated Austin when Rock came down, and then the whole video package leading up to this. This is a pretty much a year long. Honestly, you could have swerved WrestleMania 15 and done a Hell in a Cell match between Vince and Austin to finally settle it, and had Rock and Mankind at WrestleMania one more time. You could, there was your other your alternate main event, but I like what we got.
Vince
not so much Vince McMahon. Sorry to cut you off. Not so much Mankind's match to be the referee in the main event.
Vince actually trained for this match.
Oh, he looked jacked in this
one, but he actually trained in the ring. I mean, besides Vince was always in great shape physically. He was an avid weightlifter.
Shit, he still is.
But he actually trained. He actually was training in the ring. This guy trained him. Bruce Pritchard's brother.
Tommy Pritchard.
Doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Dr. Tom Pritchard, yeah, trained him, and it's cool that Vince actually took the effort. I mean, I thought the match was.
What match?
Yeah, I know.
This was a 30-minute unofficial, an 8-minute official.
What I don't understand, this is what I don't understand, and maybe I'm just critiquing this a little bit too much.
Oh, we have
and trying to make sense of it.
Oh,
Austin gave him a beating, right?
Yeah.
And he had him beat, and that was it. Yeah. The match was basically over. So he was going to lose. And then Austin decides, no, that's not enough. And he brings him back into the ring. But
because Vince was flipping him off and Vince was getting the last word.
No, but I'm talking about, no, there's 2 times. Remember, he beats his ass. They have him on the stretcher. They're ready to take him.
Oh, I love that. Hey, jackass, you in the black. Is he breathing? Then bring him in here.
And he pulls him back. So he would have lost, right? So and I'm jumping ahead, when was Paul White going to come out and save him? Because had Austin not brought him back in the ring, the match is over.
Well, we know now that's part of the story.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
as a fan, we look at it and go, why didn't it just end there?
No, but not only that, it doesn't make sense that Paul White did not come out to help him if that was what he was supposed. If Vince hired him, I know I'm just trying to make sense. Don't try to make sense of wrestling. If Vince hired him to save him, why didn't he come out to save him? It's because
technically he did, only he screwed up.
No, but my point is that happened
during the match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it could have been kind of a handicap match where Austin's getting a beating. You know what? Paul White coming out earlier would have made this a little better than just that 30 seconds where he's throwing him from pillar to post, and then he chucks him into the cage on Vince's orders, and the cage breaks and Austin wins. He gets out of there. I think it would have been better if Paul White came out sooner. He's in the ring, they're beating the crap out of him, and somehow Austin finds a way to win the match against the 2 of them.
Well,
and he's no corporate member because nobody knows he's there.
Well, Austin, so then Austin actually has him beat, and like you said,
twice.
Austin's leaving he's going out the cage, and then he gives him the bird, and then he goes back in
because he had the last say, and he's like, "No, that's not."
Paul White comes up,
and you see, like I said, you can see the ring moving, so like the latch underneath on the wood, and then all of a sudden he comes ripping through. And rather than saying, who the hell is this guy? Michael Cole already know who it was.
Paul White. That's Paul White.
That's Paul White.
That's Paul White.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to reveal who he is tomorrow night? I mean, not everybody knows who it is because they're watching Nitro and Raw.
I know he was showing up that night. I already knew he was showing up that night.
Oh, yeah. I read the slammer that he had signed with WWE.
So Bruce Pritchard actually made a really good point about this. He said he tried to convince Vince to hold off on bringing him in. Bring him in after WrestleMania because Paul White basically does nothing. Like from
any new storyline would make sense to start it the night after.
It should have been the night after, and then he comes out and he destroys Austin the night after WrestleMania. Austin just won the belt the night after WrestleMania.
He's celebrating.
Paul White comes out, destroys
slams.
That would have been perfect to bring him in the middle.
But then who helps Vince during this match? Because this can't go over cleanly. It had to happen the way it did.
There's another way around it.
Just have somebody else that's not a corporate member.
Yeah, there's another way. There's just another way around it. That makes more sense to bring him in here because, like I said, they don't really do anything with him.
The only thing I enjoyed between after this and WrestleMania is I think it was right before WrestleMania. Austin finally got in the ring with him, and I was really looking forward to seeing these two lock up because the intensity of the Giant, Paul White, Big Show, whatever you want to call him at this point, they had that match right before WrestleMania, and Austin beats him, and then I'm like, okay, he had this huge momentum coming in. He came in as a badass, and now he's already lost to Austin. It was a little chaotic on how they ran Big Show in 1999. He's bad. He's good. He's bad. He's good. Then he's WWE champion.
Terrible, but I guess this match was okay for what it set up.
Yeah, it sets up Austin actually gets the victory.
Right.
He's going on to WrestleMania to challenge the WWE champion, which is supposed to be Mankind at this point, but it will be The Rock.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I think wait until the night after.
Waited.
And then finding out he's now the newest member of the corporation, and then setting up how Austin wants his Smoking Skull belt and the rematch.
Right, absolutely. All right,
so then Mankind has then nothing to do at WrestleMania because then he wouldn't be fighting Big Show.
That was a shit match anyway, so.
It really was.
But anyway, that's our review. That's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.